reporting ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has offered his condolences to the family and friends of Johannesburg newly elected Executive Mayor Jolie D. Matonga. He and two others lost their lives in a multi-vehicle crash last night. The Executive Mayor had been campaigning with President Ramaphosa in Soweto ahead of November's vote. The 46-year-old was elected mayor on the 10th of August, replacing Jeff Makubo, who succumbed to coronavirus-related complications in July this year.
And going around with the mayor, the late mayor of Johannesburg, I felt very, very sad when I later in the evening got the news from Comrade Pulemabe here, when he phoned me and he was in tears to tell me that the mayor of Johannesburg, Comrade Jolie D, had just passed away. It was a very sad moment for me to receive the news that Comrade Jolie D had passed away. I had worked with him the whole day, and I'd been involved in the interview to have him appointed, and it was a really, really blow for me because he had so much promise. We were looking forward to his leadership of the city and taking Johannesburg Metro to a higher level. And may his soul rest in peace.
All right, we're joined now by the Gauteng Cooperative Governance MEC, Lebogang Maile. MEC, good evening, and thank you for your time. Let me give you first this opportunity for you to go ahead and say your tribute, and we'll get into some of the details around your relationship with the late Executive Mayor.
Thank you, Thabo. We have learned with shock on the passing of our friend, our comrade, our colleague, our brother, Comrade Jolie D. Matonga. We want to convey our condolences to the family, his wife, Gidiboni, and the children. This is unbelievable. It was unexpected. It is a tragedy and a great loss for us as the ANC and as the people of Gauteng and the provincial government of Gauteng.
By all accounts and from the various related stories, he seemed to have spent a lot of time before being mayor in your office, particularly in terms of the staff that have worked in your office, and he's said to have been quite instrumental in introducing a lot of them to the space of public service. Tell us about the role that he played.
Well, firstly, I got to know Comrade Jolie since our days in the Congress of South African Students. And we worked together in the ANC Youth League and in the ANC. I appointed him Chief of Staff of my office when I was MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture in Gauteng, around 2012, I think. And then I moved with him to Department of Economic Development and Agriculture when I was MEC there, until 2016 when he decided to, rather when he was redeployed as a councillor in the city of Johannesburg. And as a Chief of Staff, he was responsible for running my office and making sure that all the staff that works in the private office of the MEC are able to execute their responsibilities. He was also able to facilitate a relationship between the political private office of the MEC with the departments in making sure that we get the departments to implement the plans that we put in place. They spend their resources prudently, and there is good governance. In the Department of Economic Development, for instance, we were responsible for various agencies, and he was instrumental in making sure that there is a good relationship between the MEC's office and the boards of those agencies, the CEOs of those agencies, but also responsible for making sure that we keep a good working relationship with various stakeholders that were working with us. He was an asset, very reliable, competent, and a pillar of strength because he would also go through all the documentation that the MEC must see before making decisions and signing. He will also provide advice on what decisions to take. So we worked very well with him, and we kept that relationship even post his departure when he was a councillor.
He seemed to have understood your working temperament in a sense, what you want and how you would want the office to be run. What do you think made for that easy facilitation of that working relationship? What is it about him that I suppose made you even move with him through the various departments?
Well, maybe because we worked together for a long time in the student movement as comrades. We became close, and he understood the kind of person I am, and he was able to even advise some of his colleagues on how to work with me, and because he was a man of action and a man of few words, he got things done, and that's what I liked about him, and that's why it was easy for me to move with him to my next assignment, because I could rely on him. Because if you are a political head of a department and your office is not efficient, you will not be able to execute your oversight responsibilities efficiently. So a chief of staff in the political office is a very important responsibility and position. So getting the right person is not easy. Fortunately, I was able to get Jolie to work with me, and he was able to distinguish between our personal relationship, our political relationship, and the professional relationship that we had. So when we are at work, we will do what is supposed to be done. And when we are off work and we are in the social circles, we will still relate as friends and as brothers. So he was a professional and very, he had integrity as well, and very matured. And that's what I think made things easy for us to work well.
Speaking of the social scene, did you support the same soccer team?
Yes, certainly. We were both Orlando Pirates supporters, and every time I went to see the chairman, I will tell him that I went to the chairman, and he will ask me, Uti, because and the chairman doesn't seem to be acting, meaning the chair must fire the coach, must buy more players, and I will always tell the chairman that, Chairman, I'm representing Pirate supporters. I'm not talking on my behalf. And then I'll be referring to Jolie and others, because he loved Pirates so much that he will even cry sometimes when he loses, especially against Kaizer Chiefs. He was a very loyal supporter of Pirates, and he everything that he supports, the ANC, Orlando Pirates, everything that he loved and cared for, he cherished it so dearly that he just took everything like to heart, and yeah, he was a very he was real and authentic, so if he supports you, he will support you. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So that honesty as well, I think, is one of the tributes he held consistently throughout, and he lived by it, even in how he related with people. Yeah. He held no grudges against anyone, and that's why he was loved so much by almost everybody. If there's one person I know who was loved by everyone, basically, even people who did not agree with him politically, did not have a problem of relating with him, because if you don't agree, and he understands you are not his enemy. And that's why I remember even when he was elected as a mayor, the political parties, you remember, they did not contest him, despite the fact that they might not have agreed with the fact that he's from the ANC. But the fact that he's a kind of person that was approachable and they could work with him, share ideas, they didn't have a problem of supporting him. And he worked well, I'm sure. Yesterday I was speaking to the president of the EFF because we worked together with him in the youth league, and he was telling me how shattered he is, and that it's just unbelievable that we have lost such a good person in Comrade Jolie.
Has this left a vacuum, MEC, in the city of Johannesburg? What are the processes that are going to happen now?
Yes, it has left a vacuum, but the law doesn't allow for a vacuum. In the meantime, because there's a speaker, the speaker will assume the responsibilities, executive responsibilities, because in terms of the law, the executive and legislative authority of a municipality rests with council. And as you know, that the speaker is the head of council. It means she's assuming those responsibilities for now. And what it means is that the mayoral committee is automatically dissolved, because members of the mayoral committee serve at the pleasure of the mayor. So once the mayor vacates office, and in this case, unfortunately, it is through passing on of the mayor, it means that the mayoral committee is dissolved, and therefore the only person we have who's elected, Julie, is the Speaker of Council.
And will that status quo remain? I mean, we are at least a couple of weeks away from local government elections. Will it remain until then?
Well, I think the legal people are looking at that, and we are concentrating on mourning the passing on of the mayor. I think next week we should be able to provide clarity on how we're going to proceed, but the law doesn't allow for a vacuum.
MEC, we appreciate your time and coming through and paying your tribute this evening. That is the Gauteng Human Settlements and Urban Planning, as well as Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs MEC, Lebogang Maile.